The girl that comes walking out of the apartment looks like Jesse, sounds like Jesse, but does not act like Jesse. And she starts to yell at me, and she's like, Anthony? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, who's that? And it's like, what? You don't recognize me? Blah, blah, blah. Jesse, your sister? I was like, Jess? That's you? And fucking, I mean, I compared what the girl looked like to pictures that I was seeing on Facebook. And that's the whole thing. It's like there was other weird shit that was going on with that whole thing, because it was like I just talked to Jesse, and it's like then I lost then she didn't pick up the phone for a few months. But within that few months, I'm coming across pictures of all her kids fucking graduated. I'm saying to myself, it's like I just talked to Jesse's kids ain't even old enough to fucking graduate. Now there's a girl coming out of the apartment next door to mine, looking like Jesse does on Facebook, sounds like Jesse, looks like Jesse. From what I remember, it's like, but didn't act like Jesse, because then she's like, "Well, we ain't family no more." Blah 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 blah, and I was like, "Okay." Now I called Jesse. Eventually, I get Jesse on the phone. I go out, I buy a new phone, I change my phone number. I finally get Jesse on the phone. I'm like, Jesse, please don't hang up. Freaking Jesse, what the fuck are you mad at me for? I'm not mad at you. This, that. What you talking about? I'm like, you come out of the apartment next door to mine, you say hello to me, and then you fucking start going off on me, but you don't tell me why you're going off. She's like, Anthony, that didn't happen. I said, Jesse, it fucking happened. That's the whole point. It took me 2-3 years to get fucking Jesse back on the phone. After that happened, I was just talking to Jesse before that happened, like 2 months, 3 months, maybe 4, before that happened. I wanted to ask her. I said, this is impossible, because it was impossible to me, because I know that her daughter was born at a certain point. There's no way that fucking kid. There's no way. In other words, it just didn't line up in my head. There's no way that I'm staring at freaking all her children graduated, holding their diplomas. Her daughter was the oldest. I'm saying too much, but I don't know what else to say anymore. Because that's why I'm saying it's like there's no way that I seen the pictures that I seen, and I'm saying to myself, it's like, and trying to get Jesse on the phone to be like, why am I seeing your kids all graduated? This cannot be possible. So the bottom line, is that it couldn't have been possible, because I was right. Freaking, I know when Jesse. I mean, I'm not sure of the exact date, but it's like there's no way that because Jesse had her other kids after. Her daughter was the oldest, and there's no way that her daughter would have been able to graduate, plus all the other kids would have been able to graduate by the time that I seen those pictures 10 years ago. Because Jesse had her first daughter after. 2001. And 10 years ago, her daughter would have only been fucking 11 or 12 years old. Not standing there with a fucking high school diploma, getting ready to go to college, and even the freaking talks on the phone. Yo, man. So none of this shit was lining up. Now, I brought this up to Jesse after seeing her this is more than a few months ago, but it's still a little bit more than a few months ago, like 8, 9 months, 10 months ago, when I seen Jessie. After almost 20 years of not freaking giving her a hug or anything, not knowing whether I talked to her on the phone or didn't talk to her on the phone, trying to clear up some things that were said on the phone, compared to like pictures that I seen on the computer that were on her Facebook, which were her kids. That's exactly what all of her fucking people looked like, including herself. And I'm saying to myself, that's impossible, man. It's like, dude. And then that's why I say to her, I said, it's really interesting because this girl looked exactly like you, sounded exactly like you, Jess. And why? I'm like, just tell me, what did I ever do? She's like, Anthony, you didn't do nothing. It's like, then it wasn't you. So then who the fuck has knowledge of that? The other part, the other part, fuck. I knew I should have spit that out quicker. The other part was Jesse. And then there was... Oh, that's right. So, what's even more interesting is right before I went down to go see my friend Donnie, there's a girl who knows Nicole, my friend Nicole. Now, there's been a lot of weird shit that's went down with that too, like Nicole saying like she wasn't on the phone with me, and I was like, we just talked the other day, and it's like, whatever, man, it's like, fine, people can keep playing fucking games all they want, whatever, I don't give a fuck. Now, all this shit is unrolling as it's unfolding as it's unrolling, whatever the fuck you want to consider it. I'm bringing it up as it's happening, and everybody is just sitting there like fucking, like I'm thinking playing games, right? Now, this is over the past couple of years. When I went down to go see my friend Donnie for the first time, I gotta sit down. My fucking foot. I can't even put a little bit of fucking pressure on this sometimes, man.